What the fuck is up, everyone? Prison Metaler here, back with another Reviewing Every Album series. And today I'll be reviewing Metallica. Yes, I'm fine picking the band with lesser albums, because the last two albums took me like 50 minutes to review. So, I'm reviewing 12 albums. Oh, why 12? I'm including Lulu. So y'all can laugh and not bore y'all to death, just to hear me rage. So yeah, just before I begin, just let you know, I'm not including compilations, lives, EPs, or demo albums, just the studio albums. And yes, Lulu is a studio album. So yep, let's go ahead and begin. Alrighty, now start off we got is their debut album, Kill 'Em All, released July 25th, 1983, with two singles, Whiplash, released August 8th, and Jump in the Fire, released January 20th, 1984. So, their first album, and this is considered the first thrash album, despite some demo tapes released in the previous past, which Dave Mustaine from Megadeth was involved in when he was a band member at the time. So really great debut album, amazing. I pretty much love all 10 songs. Starting up, Hit the Lights, which is pretty much the perfect way to start the album. Then we got The Four Horsemen, which is a classic track, which is pretty much borrowed from Dave, which, as some may know, Dave Mustaine wrote 4 songs from the album, which is pretty much almost the first half of the album. And Motor Breath, another great one. Jump in the Fire, and we got the instrumental track, Anthesia Pointeeth, which is all written from Cliff Burton. Whiplash, classic. Phantom Lord, No Remorse. Seek and Destroy, one of my favorite Metallica songs of all time. And of course, Metal Militia. So yeah, easily the thrash classic, definitely one of their best albums. I just really love this album. As you may know, this was originally titled Metal Up Your Ass, but I guess the record labels didn't approve of that, so they changed it to Kill 'Em All. So yeah, definitely a classic metal thrash album. In fact, definitely one of the best metal albums in general. So, and definitely one of the best metal albums of 1983. So, I give this a 4.5 out of 5. I think this is an amazing record, and out of the big 4 thrash metal debuts, I think this is the best one. Alright, next up we got is Ride the Lightning, released July 27th, 1984. This is going to be the band's 40th album soon. So, yeah, a masterpiece album. I think this is a perfect album. In fact, this is my favorite Metallica album, and it still is to this day, and it most likely always will be. It's just a really perfect album. A little bit, it still continues the stuff from their previous album, Kill 'Em All, but it has more complicated, time signatures. It has more acoustic guitars. It has extended instrumentals, and it has a lot more harmonies than Kill 'Em All does. It has more instrumentation than Kill 'Em All does. So that's why I really love about this album. I love every single song from this album. All songs I can't rate it yet, because I'll pretty much spoil it if I did. So, yeah, from Fight Fire to Fire, Ride the Lightning, which Dave Mustaine actually wrote that song. Well, he was in Metallica at the time. For Whom the Bell Tolls, Fade to Black is an amazing song. Trapped Under Ice, which is underrated. Escape is probably the most underrated Metallica song. Creeping Death, another great one. And The Call of Tulu. So, yeah, definitely a masterpiece album. I just can't. I don't know what else to say. This album is just perfect. 5 out of 5. This is a perfect album. All songs are 5 out of 5. This is a perfect album. So, in my opinion, this is easily the best metal album of 1984. Yes, I think it's better than Power Slave. I mean, I love Power Slave, don't get me wrong, but I like this album. I like Ride the Lightning more. So, there you go. Alright, next up we got is Master of Puppets. Released March 3rd, 1986, with one single, Master of Puppets. I forgot to mention the single Ride the Lightning, which is Creeping Death. So, there's that. But anyway, yeah, this one has more like its political lyrics than their first two albums. And, yeah, this is an amazing fucking record. I don't know what else to say. I love all 8 tracks. From Battery, which is definitely a perfect way to open it. Master of Puppets, which is a classic anthem. The Thing That Should Not Be. A little slow, but very executed. Welcome Home, Sanitarium's a great one. Disposable Heroes is probably my favorite Metallica song of all time. Like, by far my favorite Metallica song. Leper Messiah, another great one. Orion, which is an instrumental. And Damage Incorporation, which is a great closing track. So, yeah, and sadly, this is the final album to feature Cliff Burton, who died later on September 27th. So, yeah, which is very sad. So, Master of Puppets, the single released July 2nd, and Creeping Death released November 23rd, 1984. Master of Puppets released July 2nd, 1986. I forgot to mention that, but oh well. Yeah, this is just a masterpiece album. I definitely a thrash classic. I would if you want to start off with thrash metal sounding, it would probably be with this album, or Ride the Lightning, or Rust in Peace, or Rain in Blood. Probably these 4 albums I would start off with. But definitely this is a masterpiece album, so 5 out of 5 for me. Perfect album. Alrighty, next up we got is Injustice for All, released August 25th, 1988, with 3 singles. Harvester of Sorrow, released August 28th. Eye of the Beholder, released October 30th, and One, released January 10th, 1989. Now, this album, I might get some backlash for this, but I think this album is a little overrated. Not a lot, just a little. The main criticism I have with this album is, y'all may know, is the bass in this album, the lack of bass in this album. And the volume for the bass is way too damn low. So you barely can hear the bass. That's pretty much my problem. And I kind of don't like the production as well. But the songwriting is top notch. Don't get me wrong. I'm not pissing on this album or anything like that. I mean, I love shit tons of songs. From Blackened, which is a great song. Injustice for All. One. Eye of the Beholder, Shores, and in fact, the Frayed Ends of Sanity is pretty under. I also love the instrumental track "To Live Is to Die." In fact, that is my favorite Metallica instrumental track, "To Live Is to Die," because it's written by Cliff Burton and it's the last song he ever wrote before he died. So I feel like this is a nice tribute to that. This is just. I just think this is a perfect instrumental track. Then we got Dyer's Eye, which is a great way closing track. I do think this is a really great album. I would give this a 4.5 out of 5, but due to the lack of bass and production, I'm going to give this a 4 out of 5 instead. So, yeah, 4 out of 5. I do like this album. I do love this album. Don't get me wrong. I'm not hating on it or anything. It's just a little bit complaint I have of this album. So that's why I give this a 4 out of 5 instead of 4.5. So, there you go. Alright, next up we got is the Black Album. Released August 12th, 1991. With 5 singles. Enter Sandman, which was released July 29th. Unforgiven, released October 28th. Nothing Else Matters, released April 20th, 1992. Wherever I May Roam, released October 19th, 1992. And Sad But True, released February 8th, 1993. So there's our 5 singles. And yeah, all I have to say is this is a really great album. I know many old school Metallica fans would piss on this album because it's radio friendly and it abandoned the thrash metal sound, which has more of a heavy metal sound than a thrash sound. But at its time, it really grew up, and it definitely is a really great album with songs like Enter Sandman, Sad But True, Holier Than Thou, The Unforgiven. Wherever I May Roam is easily one of my favorite Metallica songs. I definitely like that one. Don't Tread on Me is underrated. Through the Never. Nothing Else Matters is not one of my favorite, but I say it's decent. A Wolf and Man Salt, and the last 3 songs are pretty good as well. So, yeah, I'll admit I kind of dissed this album a bit, but not anymore. I do like it. I do like it for what it was. So, they still kept it's still very consistent. They keep it consistent, unlike their next 2 records that I'm about to mention in a little bit. So yeah, they pretty much keep it consistent with the genre, even though they abandoned the thrash stuff. But I do think it's very heavy, and it's definitely a metal classic. So I would also give this a 4 out of 5. I think this is a great record. I don't care if I get shit for praising it. So it's whatever. Alrighty, next up we got Load, which is the cover with jizz on it. Released June 4th, 1996. With 4 singles. Until It Sleeps, released May 21st. Hero of the Day, released September 9th. Mama Said, released November 25th. And King Nothing, released January 7th, 1997. So, yeah, this is kind of a step down from Metallica a bit. I say this album is kind of a ups and downs, I would say. I mean, it has some of the songs I do like, some of the songs I just don't care for, you know? It has more of a softer, it's a lot more softer than the Black Album. And there's plenty of great songs on there, like Ain't My Bitch, 2x4, Until It Sleeps, King Nothing, Bleeding Me. But, yeah, and then there's a lot of filler in this album, too. And my main criticism of it is the album is just way too damn long. It's almost 80 minutes. So, yeah, it's almost 80 minutes, but then again, I wouldn't consider this as a bad album. I wouldn't say it's bad or anything like that. Yeah, did the band sold out? Yeah, but I wouldn't automatically call it a bad album because it's a sellout or anything like that. Like, yeah, they definitely did sell out with the Black Album, but that doesn't automatically mean it's bad or anything like that. But, yeah, it did have plenty of listenable tracks on there, but the rest kind of caught me off guard. I would give this album a 2.5 out of 5. It's an alright record. I mean, it's not good, but it's not bad. It's just okay. That is all. Okay. Next up we got is Reload, released November 18th, 1997. With 4 singles. The Memory Remains, released November 11th. The Unforgiven 2, released February 23rd, 1998. Fuel, released June 22nd, 1998. And Better Than You, released July 16th, 1998. Definitely not as good as Load. It's just, I'm just not a fan of this, southern rock sound, as you may call it. It kind of sounds, it has a lot more filler songs than it does on, Load. I mean, yeah, there's some few listenable tracks like Fuel. Devil's Dance is decent. Better Than You is solid. Unforgiven 2 is okay. And then that's pretty much it. The rest is just all filler tracks, and it's just lame and predictable and not quite very interesting. But yeah, I'm just not quite a big fan of this one. It's just, I don't find this interesting. The album, just like the previous album, way too long. It's way over an hour long. And it's just, most of the songs on there are just not that memorable, to be honest. It's just, I don't know. It's just kind of lame, to be honest with you. So, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and give this a 2 out of 5. It's just, I wouldn't say it's good. It's a little bit bad, but not too bad. So yeah, 2 out of 5 for me. It's just not really worth listening to. So I mean, I don't hate this record by any means. It's not the worst album I've heard of 97. I've heard worse albums than this, but it's something I wouldn't go back to, Do we have to? Fine. Next up we got is Sane Anger. Released June 5th, 2003 with 4 tracks. Sane Anger released June 23rd. Frantic released September 15th. The Unnamed Feeling released January 12th, 2004. And Some Kind of Monster released July 13, 2004. Oh, man. This album fucking sucks. What else to say? Fucking trash can drummings. The guitars are just way too damn low. And there isn't any solos in this album. And it's just very unoriginal. Most of the songs are like over 5 minutes, and it doesn't really need to be that long. I mean, the lyrics are just really cringe. And what the hell is the song Shoot Me Again? Shoot me again, I ain't dead yet. Frantic, tick, 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 tock. What the fuck was that? Excuse me. Yeah, fuck this album. I don't know what else to say. I mean, come on. I can't find anything what's so good about this. I mean, Dirty Windows is kind of funny. I'm not going to lie. I kind of somewhat like it. I wouldn't say I like it. I kind of find it... It's one of those so bad, so funny type songs, but besides all that, the rest of the album is just pure dog shit. I don't really want to listen to this album again, and I really shouldn't have to. I just did not like this signature style with their alternative new metal sound with it, and it's just, it's really bad. I mean, yeah, I know Slayer did new metal past, but they actually did it right with the new metal sound. Metallica didn't. So, yeah, this album is beyond terrible. 1 out of 5. Terrible fucking record. And I don't really want to talk about this album anymore, and I'm going to go ahead and move on. Alright, next up we got is Death Magnetic. Released September 12, 2008, with 6 singles. Holy shit. Day That Never Comes, released August 21st. My Apocalypse, released August 26th. Cyanide, released September 2nd. Judas Kiss, released September 8th. All Nightmare Long, released December 15th. And Broken Beat and Scar, released April 3rd, 2009. Holy shit, that's a lot of singles. There's more singles on this album, and this album only has 10 songs. Wow. But, yeah, what can I say about this one? Yes, it's better than Saint Anger. A lot. Actually better than Load and Reload. They actually brought back this is their Return to Roots albums. It's definitely better than Load, Reload, and Saint Anger. It pretty much brought back to some of their 80s materials, not completely. I mean, they still have some traditional heavy metal sounds. But, yeah, I do think it's a really solid Return to Roots album. My only complaint with it is the loudness war. It's mainly Rick Rubin with this one. So, yeah. But overall, I do enjoy the songwriting and stuff. I know I made a somewhat shitted on this album years ago, but nowadays I kind of appreciate it more. I kind of do like the songwriting, and I feel like they could do pretty much a lot with this out. It's just the only thing that kind of bothered me a bit is mainly Rick Rubin's sound. But other than that, yes, I do think this is an improvement over the last few albums. So, yeah. I couldn't really complain much, except maybe the album is just a bit too long. I would say that. So, yeah, I would give this a 3.5 out of 5. It's a good album, not great or anything. So, I don't love it or anything. I mean, I don't really see myself. I don't think I would come back to it, except just for a couple of songs, and that's it. I probably wouldn't come back and listen to the whole album just for like a couple of songs. So, yeah, solid album. Alrighty. Oh, Lulu, huh? Fine. Alright, Lulu. Excuse me. Release October 31st, 2011. With only one single, The View. Oh boy. I don't know where to start with this album. Holy shit. Oh man. This disaster of an album. Holy shit. Wow. It's one of the worst albums I have ever heard. This made Saint Anger a masterpiece compared to this. Holy shit. I thought Saint Anger was bad. Oh boy. Wow. Who would thought to have a collab album with Lou Reed from the Velvet Underground? Like, really? I mean, R.I.P. to him, but wow, this is a disgrace of an album. Who would thought he would fit with the collab with a metal band? Like, for real. Oh, man. And first of all, why are these songs too damn long? Junior Dad, why is the song 19 and a half minutes? It's all fucking... I don't mind spoken word, but seriously... Read the lyrics. I cut my legs and tits off. I am the table. I waggle my ass like a donkey. Like, what the hell is this? Yeah, these are pretty much the lyrics in this album. And some other cringe shit on this album. I don't feel like reading the lyrics. I don't want to take this video too long either. Fuck this album. This album. Oh, man. This is a fucking insult. And this is so damn long. It's a 2-disc album. Why? The maximum song, 19 and a half minutes. This is like the longest 19 minutes. I pretty much skipped some of the songs because of how bad they are. it's that, or not bad, how atrocious they are. Oh, Lord, this is... Oh, man, I fucking hate this record. This record, why does this exist? Just why? Oh, I just can't fucking stand this record. I don't want to talk anymore. I just want to move on. This is going to be a very rare rating for me, but this is a 0 out of 5. Oh, boy, this is so terrible. Atrociously terrible album. Blasphemy, I should say. Oh, man, this album... Flush it down the toilet. I'd rather hear someone taking a shit than listen to this album for 87 minutes, because that's how long this fucking album is. Alright, next up we got is Hardwired. The Self-Destruct. Released November 18th, 2016, with 5 singles. Hardwire, released August 18th. Moth in the Flame, released September 26th. Atlas Rise, released October 31st. Now That We're Dead, released April 18th, 2017. And finally, Spit Out the Bone, released November 14th, 2017. So, yeah, I do think this is an okay album. Not as good as Death Magnetic, but it's okay. But way better than fucking Lulu. But, yeah, I mean, it's alright. I mean, it's a lot of filler in this album. Some of the tracks, I kind of compare it to Load and Reload, but not a lot of songs have that. They still have their thrash metal elements. Not as much as they did with Death Magnetic, but it's not bad. I mean, there's plenty of bangers on there. Like, I do like Hardwire. Atlas Rise is good. I absolutely love the song Moth in the Flame. I'm not gonna lie. Halo on Fire is okay. I mean, and the disc 2, it's a 2-disc album. For some reason, this album is under 80 minutes, and it's longer. It's shorter than fucking Load, which is a single disc album. I don't know why the hell is this song 2 discs? But yeah, I mean, Mankind is underrated. I actually like the Spit Out the Bone track, but everything else, it's alright. I mean, yeah, it's filler, but I wouldn't say it's bad or anything. I mean, is it one of the best metal albums of 2016? Not really. I mean, is it one of the worst? No. And I read that Lars Ulrich said that this is the band's best album. Really? You think Hardwire is your best album, Lars? So it's like saying, I compare this to Megadeth 13, and that's like a mid-album. So yeah, Hardwire is pretty much Metallica's most mid-album to me. So I'd go for a 2.5 out of 5. Yeah, this album is pretty mid. I can agree with that. Alright, next one and their last, which is the recent album, 72 Seasons, which came out last year, April 14th, 2023, with 5 songs. Lux Eterna, which was released November 28th, 2022. Screaming Suicide, released January 19th, 2023. If Darkness Had a Sun, released March 1st. 72 Seasons, released March 30th. And Too Far Gone, released September 14th. Now, this album is better than... I think I did say Hardwire was better, but not anymore. I think this is a better album than Hardwire. I do think 72 Seasons is a better song than Hardwire. So, yeah. I do think this is a pretty solid album. Yeah, there's some filler, and it's unnecessarily long, but it's solid. I do like the opening track, 72 Seasons. I do think it's a very solid song. Shadows Follow is good. Screaming Suicide, I do like this song. What else? Lux Eterna, great song. You Must Burn is a great one. If Darkness Had a Sun, Too Far. I also like the last track in Martyr. It kind of has some of the prog stuff on this track, which I wouldn't complain. I definitely do like the last track. Pretty groovy too, if you ask me. But not like groovy like Pantera, like groove metal like Pantera or anything like that. But yeah, I wouldn't complain about this album too much, just for the filler stuff on there. But yeah, I do enjoy it. I mean, I do like its instrumentation. Very solid album, so I don't really know what else to say here. I give us a 3 out of 5. I think it's a pretty decent album at most. And yeah, I think Megadeth's latest album is better. The Sick, Dying the Dead. Yeah, I think that album's better than 72 Seasons, but 72 Seasons, I think it's decent overall. So yeah, again, 3 out of 5. Decent album. Alright guys, that's it. That's the reviewing every Metallica album. How would you rate the albums? Let me know in the comments. And yeah, I don't know what I'm doing next. Probably not over 15 albums in a while, because they take forever, and I don't know how long this is going to take, but definitely, I'm pretty sure it won't take 50 minutes to review every album, since it has 12. Or 11 if you don't want to count Lulu. But yeah, guys, that's pretty much it. And I'm going to go ahead and get the fuck out of here. So I'm out.